Carrying excess weight that you cannot lose can be a sign of emotional trauma. Welcome, Detox family, to our discussion regarding detox. And today's topic, it's about emotional trauma and also about carrying an excess weight that you cannot really lose. It's most of the time related to emotional trauma. Now, I do energy work, healing work, but mostly I work with emotions and I go deep into emotional trauma. And I noticed that a lot of women and even men that are overweight and cannot lose the weight, I noticed probably 90 something, 90% of them, more than 90%, have a lot of emotional trauma. And when I talk about trauma, I'm not talking about just trauma. I'm talking about deep trauma, like heavy emotional trauma. And in my sessions, people cry. I try not to cry because if I'm getting attached to their emotions, it's not good for me, it's not good for them. And I rob them of opportunities for them to heal. So I'm not doing the wooju, booju, booju, and then that's it, you're healed. No. What we are doing, usually I use my intuitive gifts and I take them into a moment in time that spirit is kind of like connecting us and making us go into a deep, heavy moment in time. We address that issue and then we work on it, we let it go so they can heal. Now, that's why I say we let it go. They let it go so they can heal. But you know what? In a spiritual realms, in etheric realms, we all talk about aura, which is the energy field around our body. And then people who cannot lose weight use that aura and they increase that aura as a defensive mechanism, as a protection. But in the subconscious mind, that can be mixed with putting on weight. So the aura, the energy field, the bigger they appear, the more protection they have. And it's such a common thing that I noticed that it's like, whoa, what is that? So we work on increasing the vibes, like really raising the vibrations instead of like putting that protective wall, right? Because it keeps growing and growing and growing and the bodies keep growing and growing. So it's very interesting. So this is what people were talking about in regarding this post in Facebook. By the way, if you are not on Facebook, then come to our Facebook group. It's facebook.com/groups/detox naturally. If you're part of the group, then hey, you're doing great. I love you guys. It's such a beautiful community, don't you think so? I love the people helping each other and supporting each other and sharing from their experiences. I share a lot, but I learn a lot from you guys. So that's amazing. Thank you for being there. So that's why the emotional detox is very important. Around 60% or 70% of physical health and mental health are due to emotional trauma. And people are agreeing 100% with that. And then I talk about most of the people that I work with are dealing with emotional trauma from childhood. And it's because of shame, guilt, fear. And these are the issues that are surfacing in the session. So mostly shame and guilt, very low frequencies on consciousness scale, extremely low. And in order to do that, you really have to go high, jump high into joy and peace. And it's sometimes hard, very hard for people who are dealing with emotional trauma. But this is the thing. That's what I work with them, and then I keep telling the same thing, and it's like a mantra for me, for them. It's like what happens in the past stays in the past. What's in the present moment, it's in the present moment. You cannot really heal the past, but you can heal how you feel about the past. So that's how you heal emotions. I know it's kind of like, yeah, but how do you do that? Yeah. By the way, if you want to work with me, you can work with me. I'm still available for sessions. For example, an event from a childhood that was traumatic, it can get stuck in the subconscious and it begins repeating in the adult life over and over again until that specific issue it's addressed it will keep repeating. Like the insanity loop, right? Going around like a dog going insanely around its tail and then not getting any results because it's just like crazy. You keep repeating the same thing, but the trauma has to be addressed. And that's actually has a huge impact on the healing. People don't heal because of that. They take all the supplements in the world, they do everything right, they eat right, they're vegans, vegetarians, they exercise, unless you address emotional issues. But they hide because you know what? You gotta be willing to work on your emotions. You have to be brave to work on your emotions. It's not easy. It's hard. Who wants to work on their emotions? Come on. Emotional trauma can be responsible for many, many issues. Nutrition deficiencies, chronic pain, obesity, insomnia. It's not good for the immune function. So yeah, when nothing works, trying different methods, supplements, detoxes, and nothing changes, that's most probably emotional trauma that needs to be addressed so you can heal. Okay? Right. Somebody's asking about my sessions. I do them on the phone or Skype. Okay, so what else? There, people want to share my post, but you cannot share our post because the group is private. So remember that it's private, and we kind of like want to keep it private, keep it that way. So people are saying, somebody's saying that, oh, maybe that's why after my past life regression, my tummy went down. So it makes a lot of sense. There you go. Somebody is saying, Claire is saying, yes, very true. The emotional trauma can be connected to so many different things. It can cause the body to hold toxic chemicals in place. Yes. Toxic chemicals, you know what? Actually, there are studies talking about the emotions and negative emotions, especially like emotional trauma, being found in the protein of the body. It's crazy, but that's the way it is. Yeah. No wonder why my weight get stuck, somebody's saying, yeah, it's so hard to work out, taking supplements, watch your diet, nothing changes. Addressing, unpacking the trauma takes so long that seems never ending. One can feel like they're only on hamster wheel. That's why you work with somebody that knows how to do the work, right? I've been doing this work for quite a while and it's amazing. It is amazing. Oh my God. During the session, sometimes I'm like, people are so stuck into their emotions. Then I'm like, okay, I'm going to just quit, give the money back and then move on. That's how I feel. But then there is always God. I love it. I love working with spirit. I'm like, spirit, take over from here because I don't want to get involved into that. It's their emotions, their trauma. It's like, ooh. And then the information comes and it's just so beautiful. And then it's just one thing that I say, what the spirit says through me, that I say, then people are like, oh my God. And then they start crying, they start unfolding and then surfacing the trauma and everything. And then get like, that's why, da, 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 da. It's amazing. I love this kind of work. I think this is one of my favorite works, like working with emotional trauma. It's not easy. It can be really heavy because it's hard for me not to get involved because I'm human. And I'm very empathic, and it's sometimes empathy. It's really good because you get to connect with the other, become empathic, and know what's happening, what's wrong. That's the empathic connection. That's the intuition. But then you have to kind of like disconnect with wisdom, detach, not really disconnect, detach with wisdom, so you can allow the other one to experience their own things, their own trauma, and then allow to face the emotions and then heal and then forgive. And it's so much, it's so beautiful. It's just beautiful to observe, to witness that, people healing with that. It's amazing. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed the discussion of today. So stay blessed and yes, stay in the high vibrations of love and peace and joy. Namaste.